also this week, what was interesting about the OpenAI restructuring was I read the letter, and your lawsuit was excluded from the allowances of the California Attorney General, basically saying this thing can go through, which means that your lawsuit is still out there, right? And I think it's going to go to a jury trial.
Yes.
That corporate governance thing is still very much in question. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, I believe that will go to jury trial in February or March, and then we'll see what the results are there. But there's a mountain of evidence that shows that OpenAI was created as an open source nonprofit. It's literally, that's the exact description in the incorporation documents. And in fact, the incorporation documents explicitly say that no officer or founding member will benefit financially from OpenAI, and they've completely violated that. And moreover, then you can just use the Wayback Machine and look at the website of OpenAI. Again, open source nonprofit the whole way until it looked like, wow, there's a lot of money to be gained here, and then suddenly it starts changing, and they try to change the definition of OpenAI to mean open to everyone instead of open source, even though it always meant open source. I came up with the name.
Yeah,
that's how I know.
So if they open sourced it, or they gave you, I mean, you don't need the money, but if they gave you the percentage ownership in it that you would be rightfully, which 50 million for a startup would be half at least, but they must have made an overture towards you and said, hey, can we just give you 10% of this thing and give us your blessing? Like, you obviously have a different goal here, yeah?
I mean, essentially, since I came up with the idea for the company, named it, provided the A, B, and C rounds of funding, recruited the critical personnel, and told them everything I know. If that had been a commercial corporation, I'd probably own half the company. So, but I could have chosen to do that. That I totally at my discretion. I could have done that, but I created it as a nonprofit for the world, an open source nonprofit for the world.
Do you think the right thing to do is to take those models and just open source them today? If you could affect that change, is that the right thing to do?
Yeah, I think that is what was created to do. So it should. I mean, the best open source models right now, actually, ironically, because it seems to be an irony maximizer, the best open source models are generally from China.
Yeah.
Like, that's bizarre. And then I think the second best one is, or maybe it's better than second best, but like the Mach 2.5 open source model is actually very good. And I think would probably be continued open source models. But whereas like try using any of the recent so-called the OpenAI open source models, they're out, they don't work. They open sourced a broken, non-working version of their models as a fig leaf. I mean, do you know anyone who's running open source models? Exactly.